2021 predictions. It's pretty crazy that we're all here and we made it. Yay! We made it out of 2020, but we still have another few years of collapse and destruction and chaos, and a lot of things are going to be going on. So I'm going to relay a lot of information today. As always, you can take it or leave it. It is not up to me to determine or decide your reality. That is always up to you. That is always your choice and your decision. So discernment is very key. And before I really dive into any predictions, I want to say and explain what a psychic prediction is. Any psychic that claims to know the future is lying, straight up. And the reason why I say that is because there are an infinite amount of different simultaneous timelines that are coexisting from moment to moment. There is never one defined future. Now, in a one-on-one session with an individual, which I don't do anymore, I would take a look at their most dominant potential timelines. And that's the information that I would give them. But I would never tell my client, just like I'm never going to tell you, that this thing beyond a, doubt in your mind is going to happen. It just doesn't work that way. Collectively, we can come together and create our timeline. So when I was taking a look today, which is, what day are we? December 28th, 2020. I say that because a lot of you watched my 2020 predictions video and thought that I released it back in August. And as a matter of fact, I released it in January. So today is December 28th, 2020. And when I was taking a look at the predictions for next year, I had to break down the predictions into 4 different segments. I channeled information. Once again, I'm just channeling and taking a look at the different potential timelines. Nothing is set in stone, especially now. Everything is up in the air. Everything has the ability to change. And the thing that will change it is and always will be your focus. The power is always back to you, all right? So what I took a look at and channeled right before hopping on was, what is the collective timeline, the most predominant probable timeline for the 3D collective? For the collective of the planet, the individuals in a group who have not ascended and awakened. What are we going to observe with the 3D collective as a prediction for 2021? Second group that I looked at was the individual. What is the third dimensional human, the unawakened individual human, going to experience for their 2021 year? And then, of course, I had to look at the 5D collective. We're not a big group, but we are growing. And I have a couple of things that I want to make predictions on in relation to the 5D collective. What do we all need to know as a collective of awakened souls? And then, of course, my 4th category is the 5D individual. As you, as an individual who has already ascended and awakened, and we're still ascending, there's not ascended, just ascending, what do we need to know at an individual level, and what kind of reality are we most likely going to experience moving into the new year, 2021? So we're just going to kind of get right to it, where of course we're going to start with the 3D reality and paradigms, and then we're going to move into 5D. But once again, guys, take or leave any of this. It is ultimately always up to you, and hopefully you realize that there are going to be situations that are going to bring up fears that on the surface level are going to be scary, okay, in that sense. But we can experience fear without attachment. And that's something really important to really focus on and remember moving into this new year. All right? Okay. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to read back to you some predictions, not predictions, it's an update on the war that I basically predicted at the beginning of 2020. And it's like, I called it World War III, spiritual warfare. If you haven't already seen my 2020 prediction video, it's probably a good time to go back and check that out. And I think it's called WW3, World War III predictions video for 2020. And we have been in a war that we wouldn't consider maybe a war, but it's been a spiritual war. So I just wanted to ask a couple of questions. Where are the elites? Where are the children? What's going on? So I'm just gonna verbatim relay that back. It came in the middle of the night about 2 nights ago because I couldn't get to sleep. And of course, symptoms of all kind are just through the roof right now. So it's been a wild ride. So I'll relay all of that at the end of the video. Just a reminder that moving into 2021, I will have monthly Galactic Federation meetings, summits, whatever you want to call them. It's just me channeling the collective, the Galactic Federation, not just the Palladian Security Council, but really any being that wants to make contact with us at this time. So that typically happens on the 11th of every month, just for $11, whether you show up live or you get the recording after. All right, so just a reminder. And then, this month's Galactic Federation meeting is going to be on Friday, which is January 1st instead, just because I'm doing some traveling during the 11th. So just be aware of that. And we are taking a look at the agendas and very touchy topics, the things that I may not want to say or touch upon in public live YouTube videos, I will deep dive into in these meetings. So definitely check that out. All right. Before we get into all 4 categories of predictions, okay, I want to make 2 statements. One is a download that I had maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the word that came up just in general for everyone in 2021, just kind of a general overview of the theme of 2021 is it's a hinge year. That's the word that came to me. I don't know. So I got 2 images when I was receiving this download. One of the images was the word hinge, kind of like a door hinge. It's a hinge year. I'll explain that. The second image that came to me, this is an odd image, but a water hose, okay, like for your backyard. And it's like a metal splitter for the water hose. So instead of the water just coming out of one end, it splits into 2 different ends. Okay. That's what I mean by hinge year, okay? 2021 is the year of timelines at an individual level and at a collective level. 2021 will be the year where you get presented an opportunity and you have a choice to make. You can make choice A or choice B. It'll split your reality in that moment. These opportunities may be work-related opportunities, romantic-related opportunities. They may be spiritual opportunities. They may be opportunities to change your behavior or to look at your shadow side. You may make a choice when presented with the opportunity, and 3 days later, you're kicking yourself because you made a choice that maybe evaded, the path that you should have taken, or distracted you from the opportunity to confront something that you needed to confront, right? So when I say opportunity, I'm not just talking about all positive things. I'm talking about radical opportunities to change and shift your physical reality as well as your spiritual, okay, and your non-physical. 2021 is absolutely a hinge year. It is a timeline splitting year. So if I were to take a look at your individual information and take a look at where you're going to go and what the end of 2021 looks like for you, I would probably have 10 different outcomes for each and every one of you for 2021, because you get the opportunity to choose where you want to end up. Do you want to grow? If your answer is yes, you're going to be challenged. Challenge equates to growth. Right? We have to make different choices for different outcomes. That is what it is. So, what's important for you right now to know in relation to 2021 being a hinge year, a timeline shifting year? What's important for you to know and to hold the vibration of is, what do you want? What do you want? I've been saying this for months now, but really, truly, go into the new year understanding what your high level approach of what you're manifesting and creating is. So say, for example, if your intention for 2021 is freedom, and you get presented an opportunity to have a new job, but then you have to move to Dubai for the new job. You're presented with an opportunity, you're presented with a choice, you're presented with two different timelines. Do I stay or do I go? Every time you're presented with an opportunity, whether you perceive it as negative or positive, it doesn't matter. You need to be checking in with your highest intention. Does taking this job opportunity and moving to Dubai align with my choice of freedom? I can either work remote and be where I am now, or I can move. What aligns to your concept of freedom? Your perception of freedom may be working remote, whereas my perception of freedom may be something different, right? So you also have to define your terms, okay? Hold the highest frequency for what you want, and of course, hold the highest frequency for what you want for the planet as well. Because we're all coming together to collectively co-create. Now, more so than ever before, we need as many awakened light workers away from the matrix as possible so that you can help co-create. And I think we all want peace. We all want unity consciousness. Now, the problem with asking for peace on the planet means that all of a sudden, every aspect of the planet collectively starts to collapse, because at a very deep level, no aspect of humanity has actually been aligned to peace or unity at all. It's been feeding that top 1%. So in order to get to peace, we need collapse. So at an individual level, same thing. If you're asking for abundance, you need to collapse the old behaviors that are stuck in lack mentality to align yourself to abundance at a physical level, which means that there is a collapse that needs to happen because there's still aspects of your reality that are not aligned. So don't just ask for peace and expect peace to happen right away. Understand that it's a process. And I just want to actually there was another download that I really want to relay to you before we get to the 4 different categories of predictions. And I'm kind of already talking about it. It's called, this is what came to me, the I am statement shift. The I am statement shift. We're all getting away from labels. We're all getting away from attachments and categories. And we all know, hopefully we all know, the empowerment of the I am statements. I am abundant. I am healthy. I am aligned. I am growing. I am evolving. I am ascending. I am the creator of my reality, or whatever that I am statement is. In that moment, in a quantum simultaneous moment, when you make that I am statement, everything in your vibration shifts into the belief of that statement, that I am statement. Your physical reality is slower to shift and to adjust to your current focus. So your physical reality may be lagging behind in your I am lack statement over the past 10 years. So once again, you can align and shift your vibration in the moment instantaneously, but please be patient on yourself when it comes down to shifting and aligning your physical reality to your current mindset focus. Does that make sense? It's a process of unfolding. So allow that to happen and trust that you are confident enough in your new belief energy of the I am statement to allow the unfolding to take place in the physical reality. And it's that confidence within that new belief of the I am statement that will allow you to move through the tumultuous energy of unfolding your physical reality. Okay, cool. Okay, so one more thing is I've spoken a lot this year about identity and collapsing different aspects of your identity that no longer serve you. There is one identity without ego that I want you to start working with. All right? And the identity is of you being a creator. The identity is of you being a manifester. So the I am a creator. I am a manifester. When we start to really hone in on that and believe in that and step into that identity of being a manifester and creator, you start to shift and unfold all elements of your life that do not align to you creating your reality. And the most beautiful thing, the thing that I woke up to years ago was, wow, if I'm creating all of this, then that means that all of those shitty aspects of my reality I created. Amazing. So if I created all of the aspects of my reality that don't align to my highest vibration, then I have the ability and the power to uncreate those aspects as well. There is power in being the creator without the ego. Once again, we can't get attached to that concept, but we have to step into it for 2021. We have to. And along with being the creator, it takes responsibility. Having the responsibility and accountability for every element of the life that you have created around you, both good and bad. All right, good. Okay, so let's move into our first category of predictions. You should know that I just right before this video channeled all this information. I've been getting clips here and there in dreams and in visions and in downloads in the past couple of weeks. But I just kind of resorted everything out. Now, when I say this is a prediction video, a lot of you will assume a physical prediction. When I was channeling and downloading information for the 5D collective and the 5D individual, it was all very lucid concepts. When I was channeling predictions for the 3D collective and the 3D individual, it was all very tangible, rooted things. So it's just funny how the predictions themselves align to the frequency of the category that I was channeling. And you'll see what I mean here. So once again, guys, please take it or leave it. All right. Okay, so predictions for 2021 for the 3D collective, the collective of 3D individuals, which is the majority of society right now, all right? Okay, first thing that I wrote here. Pushing forward on polarity. The 3D collective will push and dig deeper and deeper and deeper into all of the concepts of polarity. Religious polarity, race polarity, political polarity, economic polarity, mass media polarity. I mean, you name it, polarity is going to continue moving into 2021 without a doubt for the 3D collective. Okay? Does and does not pertain to you. All right. I also saw visually a lot of protests, riots, and upheaval. Lots and lots and lots of 3D individuals getting together and protesting and rioting. I'm not even going to put my opinion or perspective on that. I'm just going to leave it there. All right, because I have a couple of feelings, but they're more of my own human feelings behind it. I think, okay, maybe I will. I'll just say this. I think that there are better ways to go about doing things, but I also strongly believe that we do have the strength in numbers, and I believe that there is validity in getting together in groups, because we have seen, especially in the past 10 years, how riots and maybe not riots, but protests, okay, physical ones, have changed and reformed the system. Once again, I believe that there are better ways to do things, but because not everyone is on board with those maybe higher or more evolved ways of changing the system, I do believe that boots on the ground and showing our support through our numbers is important for the time being. And I'll leave it at that. That's just my opinion. Okay, take it or leave it. But still, 2021, protests, riots, upheaval. Okay, also the words that came through were pushing until the bubble of illusion breaks. I'm going to repeat that. Pushing until the bubble of illusion breaks. It goes deeper than those words, but I'm going to leave it there. Sometimes it's hard to relay the visions. But also systems failing, chaos ensues. And then the chaos that ensues was all energetic. Like, it's the fear, right? The fear, once again, within the 3D collective, because the systems are failing. Because the systems are failing, energetic chaos in the form of fear ensues, okay? The other word that I got, and this is maybe more at a physical level, is scandals. Scandals. That's kind of what we would define it as, but big time, big scandals, all right, happening. Now, I have a prediction. Like I said, it may or may not happen. There's lots of timelines, but what came to me was one of the biggest scandals for 2021 was going to be in and around religion, religious, specifically Catholic. There's been many Catholic scandals throughout the years, but this one specifically, I saw either like a big like level, like umbrella religious scandal, either involving the Pope or the Vatican. Who knows, right? We'll see. I'm kind of hoping that it happens personally, but that's what came through. Also, mainstream. There's going to be a lot of mainstream scandals, but instead of scandals, the word is exposure. There's going to be a lot of exposure, like exposing the truth in the mainstream. So what came through was celebrities. And this is kind of ties into the download that I got that I'm going to relay at the end of this, but there's something about celebrities, politicians, the individuals that have been involved in the nefarious agendas of the planet, the top of the pyramid. Hopefully you guys get where I'm going with this. They have a choice to make. Now, they should be pretty freaking grateful that they even get a choice. And the choice that they have to make is either continue to align with the nefarious agendas or use their power for good. It all comes back to the hinge year of 2021. They have a choice to make. We all have a choice to make, but they've got a big choice to make because it's their face and their brand on the line. So what came through was there are going to be consequences for either choice that they make. Consequences for either choice that they make. I'm going to get into that a little bit more in the predictions at the end. Okay, also, there's going to be a lot in 2021, a lot of fear of environmental change. A fear of environmental change. What I saw was specifically the word tectonic plate shifts. Tectonic plate shifts. So I guess that would equate to, I don't know, like I actually don't know what that equates to. Earthquakes, also potentially volcanoes erupting. I'm not sure what comes down, tsunamis potentially, right? But tectonic plate shifts, I didn't really get any one of those in particular, but the tectonic plate shifts really came through. And the plates are always shifting, but there's going to be a big focus on environmental changes for 2021, and that's going to be part of it. Oh yeah, and then also magnetic shifts, okay? So if you guys have ever looked into the poles, the magnetic poles shifting, The Galactic Federation told me many, many years ago, I think it was back in 2012 even, that our magnetic poles were going to shift about 13%, or no, not 13%, 13 degrees. They told me that back then, didn't really know what that meant. Now I understand that a lot of our global warming stuff is actually in relation to the pole shifts, okay? And that's just what I believe, because I'm putting that together, but take it or leave it. There's going to be a focus on the magnetic shifts. All of a sudden, it's going to be in the news. All of a sudden, scientists are talking about it. That's what I saw. And also there's going to be more solar flare activity, or just solar activity, just an increased level of solar activity that's also going to make the population, the 3D population, fearful. And what came through was lots of fear only because we have forgotten the cycles of the planet. This is a natural cycle that the planet is going through. This is not unusual. Our history of documented shifts do not go back that far. So everyone's freaking out, even though this is a natural, whatever, 20,000 year cycle. I don't know how many years it takes in this cycle, but it's a natural thing. And we just have to, we just have to be listening to get prepared for that. But there's no need to hold fear. We're supposed to make it through, and it's not even going to be close to the Ice Age pole shifts that we've had in the past. All right, so just keep that in mind. The other thing that came through is collapse of illusion. There's going to be a collapse of illusion, but illusion on both sides. And I'm talking about what came up was a lot of political, presidential stuff, this collapse of illusion, okay, and what else did I say? Yeah. And I had to define it. Illusion as the attachment to a physical reality. I've said this before, I've gone on rants before, but whether you think Joe or Donald, okay, is the savior or the truth or the whatever or the bad guy, let go of that. This is for the collective, the 3D collective. Their illusions are going to be falling and collapsing, but your illusions have to collapse too. If you think one is good and one is bad, you're still feeding into the matrix. You're still feeding into polarity. You're still feeding into 3D. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. Stop getting sucked in, right? So that's more so for the 3D collective, but hopefully you guys are taking a huge step back, and we'll talk about that in the 5D collective predictions, all right? So that's kind of what I saw for 2021. Once again, protests, riots, upheaval, collapse, breakdowns of illusions, breakdowns of systems, especially political and religious. There was a little bit of the economic stuff that came through as well, but it wasn't clear enough to make a statement, if that makes sense. The clearer I see a vision, the more probable the timeline. The more that the visions and the information that I see is a little bit vague or a little bit foggy or cloudy, the less probable it is, and I don't want to make predictions on things that aren't as probable, if that makes sense. All right, next category here is predictions on the 3D individual in 2021, which most likely isn't going to be you, but it is going to be most of your friends and your family members and your neighbors and pretty much everyone else on the planet. So this is important to know so that we can all gear ourselves up for where they're going to be at an individual level. All right. Ego death pretty much sums up 2021 for the majority of 3D individuals. The words that I put beside ego death is hope lost. There's this hope. This is what I channeled. It's like moving into the new year and things are gonna get better and it's a new year and we're back to work and back to the norm and back to the way that things were. Or the V. The V is the all, savior of all the things. And once we have the V and everyone takes the V and the V is mandatory, we can get back to a normal life. All of a sudden, all of that stuff happens and it's not back to normal, right? That's going to be really hard for a lot of people who are expecting things to go back to the way they were. right? Even a lot of you expecting things. They won't. They won't. We are in such a liminal time right now. We are in such this place where we are between timelines that we need to be okay with the change, and we need to continue to hold the highest frequency to anchor it in, right? Okay. So a lot of ego death, a lot of hope lost, a lot of disappointment for the 3D individual for 2021. Also, we're going to start seeing a lot of mistrust within the system. Going back to the political stuff, Joe B. There was something that came through with Joe B. Hopefully you guys know who I'm referencing. What did I say? Oh yeah, savior, corruption. There's going to be something with him and people who think that he is like the savior, okay, the 3D individuals. There's going to be, I don't know if it's a scandal or if it's some truth or something that gets leaked, but there's something that all of a sudden discredits this brand new president that we have. And it's going to be really crushing. And there's the hope that's lost in the 3D minds of the individuals on the planet. And, you know, that's going to really break the illusion. It's going to break them down. It's going to go, they're going to go through an ego death. Okay. And then a lot of individuals stuck in 3D are gonna experience a tipping point. That's what I called it. That's what came to me. A tipping point of fear. A tipping point of fear. So maybe it's a health crisis. Maybe it's a job loss. Maybe it's a divorce. You know, maybe they encounter aliens, right? There's going to be a tipping point of fear that's going to spiral them out of their illusion. It's going to remove them from the matrix, and it's going to happen in 2021. Once again, guys, there has to be a breakdown before a breakthrough. There's got to be an ego death. Now, I want you all to really hold space and hold compassion for these 3D individuals. We were all once there. Blissfully happy in the illusion of this reality, and this illusion of reality is no longer a happy place to be in. It's a place of chaos and confusion, even for the light worker who's getting sucked into either side of the polarity. It's not a joyful place. It's not a freeing place. It's not a place where we have any sovereignty whatsoever. Once that fear, once that doubt creeps in, you have lost your sovereignty, right? So go back to the time in your life when you had an ego death, a big one, and everything that you've ever hoped and dreamed and believed in, all the illusions that you were attached to, all of a sudden crumbled away. Maybe that happened this year. Maybe it happened back in 2012. Maybe it was 2014. Maybe it was 2016. Doesn't matter when it happened, but hold the reminder within yourself of that memory, of how lost and afraid and vulnerable and discouraged and hopeless you felt in that moment, and have compassion for your neighbors, for your friends, for the haters in your life, for the family members who just don't get it, who are there too. Not only are they experiencing an individual ego death that is hard enough, but they're experiencing an entire collapse of the illusion of the entire system on this planet. That's a lot. And for us who have already dealt with the individual ego death, it's way easier for us to understand that the collapse of what's happening at a collective level is only going to end up in something better than we have ever experienced in the past. It's easier for us to observe what's about to happen because we've kind of already gone through it at a micro level. So I really encourage all of you to remember what it's like to go through that and to have so much compassion for those individuals. Okay. Couple more things for the 3D individual predictions for 2021. A lot of fighting and a lot of pushback attached to their beliefs. So it's very similar to what's happening with the elites and the, I have to spell out the acronym, NWO agenda. I think that's it. NWO agenda, okay. There's a lot that's happening there where they are really attached to their agenda and they're really pushing forward. And at an individual 3D level for the human, they are all going to be attached to their beliefs. Maybe it's a belief in God. Maybe it's a belief in politics. Maybe it's a belief in economics. Maybe it's a belief in a celebrity or what have you, right? They're going to be really attached to that, and they're going to be pushing it in our faces to try and get us to their level, because they're trying to hang on to every thread that they've got to their old life. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's going to be a lot of push from that side, a lot of push, all right? Just because they're trying to save their own belief system and their ego already knows that it's collapsing, right? And I feel it, you know, I've had my own experiences of pushing and attaching and trying to project what I believe, you know. And then you just get to a point where you're so exhausted trying to project what you think that you believe that you just surrender, you know, and that's where we have to get to. It's just, we got to get the rest of the world, the 3D world, to just surrender. Not give up, just surrender your beliefs and your attachments and realize that there may be something more going on out there. Yeah. Okay, also, I wanted to ask, because I love percentages, I love stats, I love statistics. So I asked just the collective, just kind of the, you know, tapping into the timelines of the collective. I said, what percentage of the 3D individuals out there are going to be shifting into a new vibration by the end of 2021? And the percent, I got it right away. Like I said, this is just one timeline. There's so many different variables in the mix here, but the main timeline right now that I received was 28%. So 28% of the currently unawakened masses are not going to necessarily wake up and be some sort of spiritual loving, you know, hippie guru, whatever meditator. They're just going to shift their frequency enough so that they're not projecting into the old paradigm. So it's kind of like going from like being super devoted to God and Jesus to being like, I still love Jesus and I still love God, but maybe there's a different way to look at it. Man, if we could get 28% of the current population to just question their current beliefs and realities and attachments and labels, we're going to be in a good place. That's quite a high percentage. So I have faith. I have a good belief. Oh yeah, this was really cool. Okay, last thing I think for the 3D individual. Okay, so 28% shift end of 2021, and what I wrote beside it was no more control. If we get the majority of the population on this planet just questioning, you don't have to believe in reptilians, you don't have to believe in the agendas, you don't have to believe in the Galactic Federation, you don't have to believe in me or what I'm saying, because I just freaking throw it all out there. But if we just get these people questioning their reality, or even just questioning what is real, the elites will no longer have control over these people. That's what it's all about. The elites don't care about money. They just care about control. And they've set up the economic system as a means to control. So if we all start waking up and breaking out of the illusion and questioning the reality, they can't be controlled anymore. They can't be programmed. There isn't enough chemtrails or vaccines in the entire universe to control a consciousness that is expanding and awakening and questioning and getting back to their own source, right? Seriously. Yeah. So, very exciting. All right. Let's move into the 5D collective predictions for 2021. Honestly, compared to the other three, there really weren't a whole lot of predictions for the 5D collective. Yeah, I'll just kind of say what I channeled. The first thing, I think maybe because we're such a small group right now in comparison to 8 billion people. So the first thing that came through was more unity and finding our tribe. 2021 is going to be this time where we actually reunite with our tribe members from other planets. I mean, okay, let's say we reunite with our tribe and our collective in our physical human bodies, okay? But these are people, souls that we've been with through many lifetimes and many dimensions, let's say, okay? So more unity in finding our tribe. Also, I put consciousness integrating into 3D world. We're gonna start seeing mainstream shift, all right? And I'm already seeing it. I just did an interview with Harper's Bazaar, which is a very mainstream magazine. And you guys, I didn't hold back. We went into reptilians, we went into the agenda, we went into vaccines, we went into everything. It is not up to me in how they choose to pose and organize all of the information that I gave them. So let's all just co-create now that it's taken and posed in such a way that we allow the mainstream to question, okay, through the integration of this information into mainstream rather than react. If they were to put everything that I said on paper, I'm gonna look like a schizophrenic nut job, like really, truly. I already say that what I say is pretty crazy, right? So, but we're already starting to see the mainstream edging into this, which is really exciting. So we're going to see that. More consciousness integrating into the 3D world. We're already seeing that. And I've got another really, really interesting collaboration coming up with BuzzFeed as well. So once again, mainstream integrating into this new vibration. And I hope to be a force to be reckoned with, in that way. Because I will just say it. And if you guys are still here, if you are still here after all the downloads and all the information, everything that I just put out there, there is hope for humanity. All right, moving on. Okay, also in the 5D collective, confusion. This is kind of what I've been ranting about in the past month, is this confusion. And maybe I'll make a statement here, but I want to make a whole video about it. Discernment is going to be so needed moving into the new year. In the 5D collective, discernment is so needed. There is going to be a lot of teachers that are going to be hijacked. We've already seen that, okay? That teachers are projecting a false light narrative and maybe leading people astray, right? So discernment is so needed. Just like you guys questioning what I put out there and the discernment of, all right, Elizabeth, 80% of what you say resonates, but 20% doesn't. Totally fine. I'm glad that you're here for that 80% to get that validation. It's okay if the other 20% doesn't, right? So discernment. Any spiritual teacher that says this is what's right and this is what's wrong does not have their own discernment or the ability to give the power back to the people, right? It should never be up to the spiritual teacher or guru or channeler or messenger, right, to discern for you what is right and what is wrong. And you need to check yourself throughout all of 2021 to ask, what resonates most with me? Don't get caught up, in the charm and the glitz and the glamour of all the information that's coming out. Always check back in with source, which is you. You are that part of source. You already know all this information. You know what is right and what is wrong for you in this moment right now. Okay. So I want to just talk about this false light paradox. What I've seen at an increasing number in the past couple of months is a lot of light workers and starseeds getting caught up in what is the truth and what is not. And starseeds saying, I have false light, or that the Galactic Federation is false light that's meant to distract us. And I get that, guys, okay? But we also need to realize that doubt is a poison to our mind and our vibration. The more that you focus on what is or what is not the truth, the more you get sucked into and caught up in polarity. That's why the way I live my life as a human being, all right, and maybe as an alien being as well, is I look at this entire reality as an illusion. Therefore, I never get caught up in how much I have, how much I don't have, how much is the truth, and how much is a lie. I never get caught up in that because I'm always one step removed from this entire reality, whether it be physical reality, this stuff, or energetic, vibrational reality, right? Our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings. It's all just a game. It's all just an illusion, right? So, in my opinion, in my perspective, yeah, there's projection. There's, if you want to call it false light. Yeah, there's manipulation, projection, hijack. All of that exists for sure. But we have to always simplify. If you're getting caught up in who is hijacked and who is projecting and what's going on and what is the truth and what is an illusion and what is right and what is wrong and what side you need to be on and what side everyone else is on, you're getting stuck in the weeds. You're getting trapped in just one or the other. You say, this is all an illusion. This is all a game. I'm going to take all of this with a grain of salt. And I'm just here. I'm just existing. But I'm always existing, holding the frequency of unconditional love. I know that when I look into my dog's eyes, for example, I feel that unconditional love. That is my basis for navigating. I know that when I'm with my wife, I feel unconditional love. The same thing when I feel my family members, right? And my friends that are around me, and that authenticity. I know what unconditional love feels like. So now moving forward, that is my standard for everything. So if you're watching someone or a teacher or information, or you're reading a book or whatever, and all of a sudden something doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You should compare that feeling of, ooh, I feel icky. For me, it's always this icky feeling. Ugh, it doesn't feel right. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this is right and this is wrong. Maybe it's just the way the person is presenting the information that doesn't resonate, right? Always compare anything that you're navigating or discerning with the standard foundation of unconditional love. You need to simplify your reality. Don't get caught up in the weeds. Because if you get stuck trying to navigate through 3D, figuring out what is real light and false light and what is the truth and what is not, you're holding yourself back from just experiencing what you need to in the present moment. And accept wholeheartedly when something that you encounter is not within the vibration of unconditional love. And if you really, truly want to take it the next step and deep dive, you can ask yourself, why did I attract this thing that does not align to unconditional love? And for me, the only reason why I attract anything that does not align to unconditional love is because I'm learning something. I contracted that. I created that in my reality because I need to be challenged, because I need to grow. Because I chose that growth in that moment. The more that we react, the more that we hold doubt, the more you perpetuate that vibration into the next moment. You can bring unconditional love to false light and doubt every single time. And guess what? By experiencing doubt and fear within the vibration of unconditional love, you're always just in the vibration of unconditional love. And that's what I've picture and imagine and vibrate 5D being. That's what I see it being. It's just always being in that place, always being in that standard, that foundation of unconditional love, and checking in with your reality based on that standard. Okay? The false light narrative and the false light paradox is a problem because it will stop you in your tracks of trusting what true unconditional love and what true light is. Just be wary, because we will be tested on this in 2021. Okay. All right, 2 more things for the 5D collective. Disclosure. There is going to be cosmic disclosure for most of us in 2021. If you haven't already met your cosmic family and understand kind of your cosmic, galactic, intergalactic connections, that's most likely going to be coming to you firsthand in 2021, right? So the biggest thing is be listening. Really always listen to every aspect of your reality in 2021, whether it be a dream, whether it be a conversation that you overhear, a video that pops up randomly. Always be listening. And a lot of growth in 2021 as well for the 5D collective. Okay, let's go into the 5D individual. The first thing is the 5D individual, which is basically all of you, will get pushed into breaking your strength. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a new belief system, right? Getting penetrated into the collective. Maybe it's a dream that you had. But there will be this push to break your strength. I'm just going to say it so that you're aware of it, so that you can clue in that moment saying, oh, I'm getting pushed to break my strength, and you're not going to break it. Haha, you know? Okay. Also, sensitivities. Your 5 senses are going to be heightened to a crazy extent, all right? Some of you may have really sensitive hearing, and noises are going to be extra annoying to you moving forward. Some of you, your taste is going to be off the charts, and it's going to be difficult for you to swallow or even texturize certain things. For me, my sense of smell has been just so extreme, and not in a good way. You know, it's just a lot of smells are very abrupt. Even my own smell recently has been weird. Anyway, so a lot of sensitivities, the major sensitivities heightening, all right? Also, at the same time, though, your psychic abilities are going to be coming online big time, all right? Clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, okay? All the clairs are going to be coming online big time. For some of you, one clair more than another clair, right? But you are going to be experiencing yourself as psychic. I've been telling you for many years now that you are psychic. Now you get to revel in that. Now you get to experience that, which is awesome. Okay, also for the 5D individual, this is going to be the year of hibernation. And I know, eye roll for a lot of you. It's like, really, we still have to hibernate? Because 2020 for many of us has been the year of hibernation. Now we're ready to go. But what I wrote down here is year of hibernation, but also within community, all right? So it's weird. It's going to be this weird paradigm. We're still all going to be in this hibernation phase. And I'll tell you right now, I am so grateful for that. It is important that we are in hibernation. And the reason why is because we're super sensitive. So if we're out in the world and we're facing all these 3D people and fear and really dense energies, I would rather be at home and be alone and be in my own little zone and do art and do all my things rather than have to face the 3D world, to be honest. That's just me. But yeah, but at the same time, we're going to be able to dig into these nooks and crannies like this community and Discord and all of these things to find our tribe, to find our community, to find that connection as well. So it feels like there's going to be community through hibernation, which is most likely going to be a more virtual community, right? Through hibernation. So very interesting. Also, psychic attacks are going to be strong on truth. This is the information that came through. the ones who are emitting light are going to be the ones who are attracting the most amount of darkness. Just makes sense, right? So that could be as you raise your vibration, as you get more psychic, as there's more disclosure, as there's more confidence within you, you may attract doubt, you may attract haters, you may attract bullying situations, you may attract issues with family members, you may attract all of that. There's going to be psychic attacks, all right? You may be above and beyond that, and I'll tell you right now that it is a possibility to get beyond psychic attacks when you shine so brightly. That is totally possible. So I want to let you know that hey, that's possible too. But psychic attacks are going to be strong in 2021 for the 5D individual. There's also going to be ongoing upgrading symptoms. I know. So trouble sleeping, hot and cold flashes, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, crazy dreams, weird accidents, weird pains in your body, weird, breakouts, weird rashes, weird, what is it called? Appetite, okay? Just weird things all around. It's just going to be ongoing for 2021. I'm sorry, but it needs to happen. We need to flush the old to bring in the new. So just stay strong, that's all. Okay, also, what else? Connection to Star Family and Galactic Federation, kind of already mentioned that. Oh yeah. Oh, huge disclosure, but without fears. And this is going to be at an individual level. There's going to be massive cosmic alien disclosure, but at an individual level. What I'm hoping is the more and more disclosure there is, the more and more people channel the Galactic Federation, all of their beauty and all of their oneness and all of their greatness, the more and more of us are going to be coming online physically and getting together and speaking our truth and saying, hey, this sounds crazy, but hey, this is what I experienced, right? We have the strength in numbers. So I encourage all of you, start a spiritual business in 2021. The industry is not oversaturated. We need as many of you as possible. All right? Okay, also, So really listen. It's time to listen, but without distraction. Push into polarity and distraction. There's going to be a push into polarity and distraction. Oh yeah. So the example that came up to me with the push into polarity and distraction is, say for example, I'm doing a video. This is just an example. I'm doing a video and we've got like a hater in the chat, and all of you take your attention from the information in the video and you start to feed into the hater and you defend me. And I really am grateful for the fact that you guys defend me, but what's happening? You're getting pulled away from the content and you're feeding into polarity. So that's a really great example of how all of us can get tripped up into distraction when we're trying to just listen, all right? So just be aware of that. There's going to be a push into the polarity. There's going to be a push into distraction for the new year. And I do appreciate when you guys stand up for me when it comes down to a hater, but maybe not in a live setting, if that makes sense, right? Okay. And then last but not least, for the 5D individual in 2021, there's going to be a lot of purging of limiting beliefs and fears. Like a lot of confronting the shadow side, a lot of confronting those limiting beliefs, and just a lot of purging that out. Now, before I go, I want to switch gears, and I just want to read verbatim the download that I got in the middle of the night about 2 nights ago. It kind of covers a couple of things that I talked about, but it also goes into more depth about where are we at right now at the end of December in the whole spiritual World War III. Where are we at? I was just channeling that. I wanted to check in. This is the information verbatim. I won't explain it. I'm just going to read it off, and then you guys can kind of deep dive or even rewatch this video. And then before I get into this, if this video resonated with you, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as always, and make sure you turn on the notification button for more notifications for these videos. We all know censorship is pretty huge moving forward, so it's important for the notifications to be on. And and if you want to give back and you feel like I've helped you out or helped you ascend or help you even just validate or stay sane this past year, sign up and be a member. I've got some really great new ideas for the membership program, so check that out. I think we've got well over 100 exclusive, never before released videos on the membership platform as well. So definitely check that out. And that helps me out and helps me release free information to all of you who can't afford to be a member. So I appreciate you members. Thank you for being here. All right, here we go. Okay, so it's just in general, and this was me channeling the Palladian Security Council, the Galactic Federation. I said, what's going on at this time on the planet? The first thing that they mentioned, they are conceding. It was a very clear word. They are conceding. And when they say they, the elites, they are conceding, but some are still holding on and fighting for this planet. The children and the rescue has been halted for some time and will start again soon. There were more than expected. The children and the rescue has been halted for some time, but will start again. There were more than expected. Many of the children are being taken to hospitals and other care facilities all over the world and are dying in those facilities from malnutrition, but it still ends the karmic cycle. The elites are pulling out all the stops to continue the control. They are threatening members who have strayed away from them. They are threatening members who have strayed away from them. And I'm talking about big political players, celebrities, musicians. Now they're threatening them to basically make a choice, right? That's what we talked about earlier. The ones in leadership positions who are holding on will be exposed moving forward. I'm going to repeat that. The ones in leadership positions who are holding on will be exposed moving forward. We will see a lot of exposure in 2021, similar to the Epstein and Weinstein release. A lot of truth will come, but more polarity will come with it. Division of the planet needs to happen. All false beliefs must fail. All false beliefs must fall. All false beliefs must fall. They are losing their powers and they are losing their drug adrenochrome. They are losing control of the world. Celebrities who were always in the limelight will fade away from the camera, and the ones who choose the light side will expose the truth. 2021, bring truth, exposure, and polarity. 2021, once again, brings truth, exposure, and polarity, upheaval, collapse of the systems, and the beliefs held by people. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for supporting my mission. Thank you for just having an open mind. Thank you for expanding. Thank you for participating. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing this content. Thank you for being a part of the movement, because we need you. And you are special, and you are divine, and you are a starseed light worker that chose to be here. And I couldn't be here without you. So thank you. And bye for now. I will see you all in the 5th dimension.